on, guys? In today's video, I will be explaining all the different types of ghosts that you can encounter in Phasmophobia. Phasmophobia is a ghost hunting game, if you haven't seen it, where you go into different locations and you attempt to locate and find out what type of ghost you are dealing with. So the first one we're going to start with is the Banshee. Banshee can only target one ghost at a time with the increased chance of performing a singing ghost event. The way you could tell if it is a banshee is when you find its room. It has a very distinctive wail on the parabolic microphone. So the next one is the demon. For the demon, it can hunt at any sanity that you're at as a very low you have a very low setup time. Um the incense is not the incense that you use to stun the ghost sometimes doesn't work as well with the demon. But the crucifix range is 50% larger for the demon, which is definitely good because these things are terrible. Next one is the Diogen. The Diogen is one of the worst ghosts to encounter in the game, just because of the fact that it always knows where you are and it moves very, very fast. I've had a couple encounters with this thing myself, and it is not fun at all. Died very quickly, but it is very easy to tell. It is definitely very easy to tell. Yeah. The next one is the Goryo. The interesting good thing about the Goryo is that it can only enter the dots projector when nobody is nearby. So basically, what you have to do is you have to set up a camera on the stand, and that is really the only way you can see if it's Goryo or not. Um, the interesting thing about the Goryo is that it can't really wander very far from its room. It's kinda like a djinn in that sense, but unlike a djinn, it very rarely changes its favorite room. The next ghost is a Hantu. The thing about the Hantu is that lower temperatures allow it to move faster during hunts. So, let's say you're on a cold map and like the weather outside is cold and you leave the door open. If you're by the entrance and it sees you, it's going to move very quickly. But if the fuse box is on and the door is shut, it will move it'll move like significantly slower, but it will produce freezing breath during a hunt if the fuse box is off. Another interesting thing about the Hantu is that it will never turn the fuse box on. So that's a pretty good way to tell if you ever hear the ghost turn the fuse box on, you know you're not dealing with a Hantu. The Jinn is very, very territorial, and it travels at a faster speed if a player is in its line of sight while the fuse box is on. I don't know why, it just does. And it can drain large amounts of sanity from nearby players, which definitely isn't good, and you might mistake the Jinn for a poltergeist. It cannot use its ability if the fuse box is already off, and will never turn the fuse box off directly. So if it spawns off and you turn it on, and it doesn't turn back off, you might be dealing with the Jinn. The Mare is basically a demon when the power is off and all the lights are off. Turning the lights on will reduce pretty much all chances of an attack, and it'll occasionally turn the lights off right away, but it will never turn a light on. So if you go through, it is dangerous, but if you leave all the lights off and not a single one turns on, chances are you're dealing with a Mare. Next one we are going to see is the Moroi. The Moroi moves it gets faster the lower your sanity gets. And it can curse players, which makes them lose sanity a lot quicker than usual while they are investigating. The interesting thing about the Moroi, which is this one's pretty good, is that it blinds the ghost for 50% longer during hunts. So if it's hunting, sorry, and you incense it, you have a pretty good opportunity to get to a hiding spot and possibly survive the hunt, which is good. The next one is a myling. Now, mylings are very, very dangerous while they are hunting because they are very, very, very quiet. The interesting thing about the myling is that it produces paranormal sounds more frequently on the microphone. So, kind of like the banshee, but the myling doesn't have that distinctive wail, which is how you can differentiate between them. The next one, and I'm probably gonna get this wrong, but it's obake. I'm just gonna say it like that. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But the thing about the obake is it has a chance to never leave fingerprints while interacting with things, and it may cause fingerprints to disappear very quickly if there are. And the thing is, it can leave different fingerprints from the rest. Now, I myself, I don't know if I've ever had an obake, but these things definitely sound not good. And it can briefly shapeshift into another model while during a hunt. So I'm pretty sure that just means it's one model when it spawns. It can turn into another one, but then it turns back. So that would definitely be cool to see. Hopefully, I can get one on video and put it up for you guys. The Oni. The Oni has increased activity when players are nearby. So it's kind of also like a Jinn in that sense, to where if you are near it, it'll it'll act more. It is very visible during hunts. The thing about the ghosts, which you can sometimes tell, is that when they're hunting, they have these blinks where it looks like they're going like in and out of existence. Onis don't blink a lot. They are very, very all there. So, yeah, those things are also they're pretty interesting. I don't think I've ever had an Oni either. The Onryo. The Onryo is basically it's addicted to fire. A single flame extinguishing can cause an Onroy to hunt regardless of sanity, which is terrifying to think about. Um, but a cool thing about it is a nearby lit flame will prevent the Onryo from hunting as a crucifix would. So if you know you have an Onryo, I definitely recommend you try that. You go to the room and you just start putting candles down. So, next one of my favorites, the Phantom. Looking at a phantom and hearing heartbeat sounds will drain the player's sanity, and it will occasionally walk to a random player. Taking a photo of the phantom will cause it to disappear, and it is very hard to see during hunts. So, when you take a picture of the phantom, either it'll never show up on the dots, and I don't think it'll ever show up while it's hunting. But it is definitely less visible during hunts, rarely being like all there. The next one, this one's pretty easy to identify. It is the poltergeist. The poltergeist likes to move things a lot. It throws a lot of things at once. It can throw things very quickly, but it becomes virtually powerless when nothing to throw or yeah, nothing to throw nearby. Next one is the Raiju. I probably said that wrong too, but whatever. It moves faster when it is near electrical equipment. So, kind of like the Volt from Blair, if y'all saw that video. And it can disrupt electronic equipment from further away when it hunts. So, let's say you're on Tanglewood and you're in the boys' bedroom and the ghost is in the kitchen. There is still a chance that it'll mess with, if you have like EMF reader out, there is still a chance that it could mess with your EMF reader, which is kind of cool. The next one is the Revenant. A Revenant is definitely an interesting one, just because when a Revenant, before it sees you, it is the slowest ghost in the game. But when it sees you, it then becomes the fastest, and it is very difficult to escape if you do not have incense. One thing that I think that they should put on for the Revenant is increased incense time, because when this thing locks on, it is hard to escape. Next one, definitely one of the easier ones, is the Shade. Now, the thing about the Shade is that it is less likely to perform interactions. It's a very shy ghost, and you kind of act as a crucifix when you're in its room because it will not hunt if people are nearby. So you might mistake the shade for a spirit, but the spirits, which you can probably see, they have no strength. They rarely do anything, and incense is more effective, preventing a hunt for longer. So basically, the spirit is completely useless. So if you have a spirit, you're gonna get like no activity unless you're on a harder difficulty. The next one is the Fae. The Fae is very active, very aggressive, and very fast during hunts as soon as a player walks in. So the second that you walk into that building, the Fae is active and ready to hunt. But it becomes slower and less active when players are nearby. So unless the Fae is right in front of the door, like the room is right in front of the door, it is going to be active at first. But the closer that you get to its room, the less active it'll start to get. So it's like a reverse demon. The Mimic. The Mimic is, in my opinion, the worst ghost to get in the game. I've gotten the Mimic right one time. It is not it's not good. The Mimic can mimic the abilities and traits of other ghosts, uh, per the name, and it will present fake ghost orbs as secondary evidence. So you will not know if you have ghost orbs or not if you're dealing with a mimic. And if you are, I feel bad for you because I can never get these right. The next one are the twins. And the twins can it's basically it's two ghosts. Either twin may start a hunt, but they can't hunt at the same time. One of the twins is slow and one of the twins is very fast. It'll interact with the environment at the same time, but usually in different places, making it you can probably find the room to one, but you probably won't find the room for the other. The Wraith. The Wraith cannot be tracked at footsteps. I say this in like all of my videos, no matter if I'm playing Blair on Roblox or Phasmophobia. The Blair will not step in salt. It is the most simple ghost. If you have it, it is the most simple ghost to find. You find the ghost room, you put salt down. If it doesn't step, you're definitely dealing with a Wraith. And it will teleport to random players. The Wraith can like it changes its favorite room very quickly, and it can like fly through walls. It's definitely interesting. The Yokai. Now the Yokai is very it's cool. It's when you're talking and a Yokai is hunting, it has very enhanced hearing. It's not blind like a Yuri or Yuri. It is not blind, but it definitely has enhanced hearing. Only when you're near it, though. It can only hear people within a short radius during a hunt, but I'm pretty sure it can always hear you when it's not hunting, like if it's just roaming around. The last ghost is the Uri. The Uri can quickly drain sanity from nearby players. It's kind of also like a poltergeist. So if you notice your sanity is low, don't just pick poltergeist. Make sure you're not dealing with the Uri. Smudging the Uri will temporarily trap it and reduce how often it wanders. Um, so basically, if you smudge it, it'll act like the Hermit tarot card. It'll pretty much stay where it is, and you'll have some time to get evidence, unless it's hunting. If it's hunting and you smudge it and it's standing still, you probably shouldn't know that it's standing still. You should be running the other way. The Uri's interesting ability is that it can slam doors. So most ghosts, when they shut doors, they do it very slowly and creepily, but the Uri is like, screw that, and it just slams it. Definitely also one of my favorite ghosts in the game, solely based on that fact. The next thing we are going to be talking about are the cursed objects. Now, the cursed objects are also they're fun, and yeah, they're just fun. So the music box, so what it does is when you turn the music box on, the music gets louder the closer that you get to the ghost, which obviously is good because you can find the ghost room pretty quickly. Unless it breaks, then that kind of sucks. The haunted mirror provides a view into the ghost room. So basically, you go to the haunted mirror, you look into it. Don't look into it too long though, because if it breaks, the ghost will hunt. Basically, everything that every one of these cursed objects can cause the ghost to hunt if not used right. The cursed mirror can be a very useful object. Don't look into it too long. One, it drains your sanity like crazy. Two, if it breaks, the ghost will immediately hunt. The Ouija board. The Ouija board, in my opinion, is the most useful cursed object because you can use the Ouija board to one, figure out exactly where the ghost room is, and two, you can ask the ghost a bunch of interesting questions. You can ask how old it is, how it died. You can ask what its sanity is. You can pretty much ask the thing anything. Just don't be weird about it. The summoning circle. Summoning circle, in my opinion, is the most useless cursed object because it has one purpose: summon the ghost and cause a hunt. It summons the ghost in the circle, so you cannot get the ghost room. You cannot prevent the ghost from hunting with a crucifix. The only nice thing about it is that the shades will not hunt from a Ouija board, or from not a Ouija board, from a summoning circle. It'll look like it's hunting, and but then it just won't. The tarot cards. The tarot cards are definitely one of the more fun cursed objects in the game. You pull a plethora of cards, and I'm actually going to explain those. So click ahead if you don't want those. So the tower. The tower is one of the more common draw chances with at 20%. It doubles all the potential ghost activity for 20 seconds, meaning it'll open doors, turn on lights, throw things. It's quite useful actually. Next one is the Wheel of Fortune, also pretty common. If it burns green, you get 25 sanity. If it burns red, you lose 25 sanity. Pretty simple. Next one, the Fool. The Fool does absolutely nothing but can mimic the card. And yeah, so if you get the Fool, it could be good, could be bad. The Devil. The Devil triggers a ghost event towards the nearest player to the ghost, meaning it'll jump scare in your face. So it's definitely interesting. Next one, Death. Probably one of the most probably the most iconic card in the game. Causes a cursed hunt. Not much to say about it, just does. The Hermit. The Hermit traps the ghost in its room for 1 minute, and it stops it from roaming, but it does not affect hunts or ghost events. Next one, the Sun. The Sun will immediately set your sanity to 100%. Definitely one of the luckier things in the game at a 5% draw chance. Um, and also very useful. Then there's the Moon, which automatically sets the player's sanity to 0%. Also a 5% chance, but I like to look at that one as unlucky. Then we have the High Priestess, which is, in my opinion, the best tarot card because it revives a random dead player when they have died. If no one is currently dead, it will revive the next player who dies. The card, but the card does not stack if pulled more than once, which I doubt you will because that has a 2% draw chance, which is that's definitely something. So if you pull the High Priestess twice, oh well, that sucks. It was lucky, but can't you can only use it once. Next one, the rarest card in the game, the Hanged Man. The Hanged Man instantly kills the player. So it's actually impossible to pull the real version of that card on the Friendly Ghost custom difficulty. Only the full version can be drawn. And well, besides the High Priestess, the real luckiest card in the game is when you do get the Hanged Man, but it comes out to be the Fool because it gives you that little heart attack feeling that we all love. Anyways, we're gonna move on now, and we're gonna move on for cursed items, and now we're gonna be on the voodoo doll. So basically, what the voodoo doll does is it causes interactions. You push needles into it, and there's 10 pins, If you push it into the heart pin, your sanity will drain 10% and the ghost will immediately try to hunt. If the user's sanity is already at 0%, all the remaining pins will be pushed in and a cursed hunt will still happen. So definitely could be good, could be bad. And then the second most useful cursed object is the monkey paw. You can use the monkey paw to ask for evidence. Well, you can say, I wish for knowledge. All the phrases that you can say, let me look at that really quick. All the phrases that you can say, I wish to see the ghost, which means it triggers a ghost event at the ghost's current location. After 5 seconds, the ghost will disappear and begin a hunt. So you could you could do that to find the room, but then you have to quickly find a hiding spot unless you have a Deogen, in which case you're kind of screwed. The next one, I wish for activity slash I wish the ghost would do something. Doubles on ghost activity for the next 2 minutes, including throws, doors, roaming, abilities, etc. The fuse box will break permanently and the exit door will be locked for 2 minutes. This is definitely not something I would recommend unless you're a higher skilled player. Like I know I myself would not do that. As you can see in the gameplay, not exactly getting a lot right. Next one. I wish the ghost was trapped. I wish to trap the ghost. Teleports the ghost to its favorite room and locks all doors connected to it for 1 minute. During this period, the ghost cannot hunt, roam, or use abilities. This also locks all doors to the wisher's current room for 1 minute. After this period, all doors will unlock and the ghost will begin a standard hunt. There is also a 25% chance for doors to unlock only after the grace period. So there's that. The next one. I wish for sanity slash I wish to be sane. Sets every player's sanity to 50%. Passive sanity drain will be multiplied to 1.5 for the remainder of the contract, and the ghost favorite room will be set to a random room. Overriding Agorio and Banshee's inability to change favorite room. So even if you have a Banshee or Gorio, I say that right? Gorio, yeah. So it'll still change their favorite room. I wish to be safe. Unlocks the nearest blocked hiding spot. The lights in the Wisher's current room will shatter. For the rest of the contract, the ghost will be able to hear the Wisher and sense their electronics at a distance. So even if you have the ghost that can hear things, you're still kind of screwed. I wish for life slash I wish to revive my friend. This revives the deceased player with a 50% chance of the Wisher's death. So even though you may draw it, um, even though you may get your friend back alive, there's also 50-50 that you might die, and you can only use that once. Um, but it cannot be used if a player is not dead as well. I wish for knowledge. Eliminates one incorrect piece of evidence and its associated ghost types in the Wisher's journal. The ghost then teleports near the Wisher and initiates a cursed hunt. The Wisher's vision will be covered in a dark fog, and their hearing will be muffled until either their death or the end of the contract. I wish for weather. So you could say clear sky, fog, rain, snow, or sunrise. So say I wish for clear sky, I wish for fog, I wish for rain, I wish for snow, or I wish for sunrise. Changes the weather as desired. All players will be temporarily blinded while the weather changes, and the wisher will lose 25% sanity. Wishing for rain will grant either light rain or heavy rain, each having 50% chance. The wish cannot be used if the wisher has less than 25 sanity. I don't know why you would use this one. I think it's just for aesthetic or something like that. And then the next one, I wish for anything. Randomly grants one of the unused wishes above. So I think you just get a life back on that. Alright, guys. Well, there is all of the ghosts and cursed objects explained. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you next time.